For today's top stories, let's go over to the CBN News Desk.
Today is the last day for lawmakers in Washington to prevent a government shutdown. The weekend brought no compromises on a funding bill. Instead, Republicans took a new step to delay Obamacare, while Democrats and the president refused to negotiate.
It's a battle to see who will budge first.
Your hate for this president is coming before the love of this country, because if you love this country, you would not be closing it down.
We're fighting for the American people.
Without some kind of deal, a partial government shutdown takes effect at midnight. Over the weekend, the halls of both the House and Senate were dark. No negotiations, no emergency meetings. The demands of each party are clear, but neither is willing to compromise.
The polls are overwhelming that people all across this country want to see this law delayed. They recognize it's not ready for prime time. The wheels are falling off. Even the administration this week was issuing the delay of the small business enrollment online. They delayed the employer mandate. And now we need them to take action to delay this bill for a year.
It is wrong to do a shutdown of government as the lever to make change.
If the clock runs out, close to 800,000 federal workers will be told to stay home. Government services will slow down, and some government offices will close. The next move in the budget standoff belongs to the Senate. They're expected to reject the latest House plan, and the House is already promising to deny any short-term spending bill passed by the Senate. It's not clear if the House will eventually back off its efforts to slow Obamacare to keep the government running.
This law is a train wreck. It's been described as such by its author in the Senate. And we can't move forward with it. We can't simply allow this train wreck to happen.
If the government shuts down, it will be the first time in nearly 2 decades. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu arrived in the United States Sunday with a warning for President Obama. He's trying to convince the world that Iran still threatens the survival of Israel and the West. Chris Mitchell has the story from Jerusalem.
On the eve of his U.S. visit, Netanyahu delivered a sobering message.
I
will tell you the truth in the face of the sweet talk and the onslaught of smiles. One must talk facts and one must tell the truth.
Netanyahu referred to the charm offensive by Iranian President Rouhani. Rouhani is assuring Western media and diplomats that Iran's nuclear program poses no threat to the West. Netanyahu may face opposition from the Obama administration following last week's bombshell announcement. President Obama said he called Rouhani. The call marked the first time a U.S. president has talked with an Iranian president in more than 3 decades. Here in Israel, many analysts still see Iran as an existential threat. They're skeptical about Rouhani's charm offensive and leery about the Obama administration's decision to deal directly with Iran. They believe it could be more deception than diplomacy.
We prefer diplomacy. The problem is that the way the Iranians are actually behaving.
Destruction of Israel is only the first phase to confront the Western civilization. And when the Iranian leadership speaks about Western civilization, they mean Christianity.
Iranian expert Menashe Amir says Iran's ideology hasn't changed.
According to the Iranian belief, Christianity is based on Judaism. So first they want to destroy Israel, which is the symbol of Judaism, and then to confront the Christianity. That's a fact that people in the Western countries either don't know or they ignore it.
If Rouhani is using charm to delay the West, while Iran gets closer to a nuclear weapons capability, it puts Israel in an even more dangerous situation. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Torrential rains and howling winds battered the Pacific Northwest this weekend. Storms swept across most of Washington state and Portland, bringing record-breaking rainfall. Some areas got a month's worth of rain in just 2 days, making it the region's wettest September on record. Streets have become rivers and fallen trees blocked streets and sidewalks. Winds up to 70 miles per hour ripped down power lines, leaving thousands in the dark. One ministry has traveled across the country to provide hot meals to victims of this month's unprecedented flooding in Colorado. About 18,000 families were displaced by the flooding that destroyed thousands of homes. The Virginia-based Mercy Chefs ministry traveled all the way to Colorado, partnering with local churches to feed victims and first responders.
Just to be here, just to serve these people, just to give them just a little bit of hope, just a meal that would help them to know that there's somebody out there that cares, somebody that wants to serve them. You know, this is all about spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ through the power of a shared meal. That's what we do.
Mercy Chefs has prepared several thousand meals for the Colorado flooding victims. President Obama has personally requested Pastor Saeed Abedini's swift release from an Iranian prison. Abedini was imprisoned for his Christian faith over a year ago. Obama mentioned Abedini during his historic phone call to Iran's president on Friday. Abedini's wife says Obama's request is an answer to prayer. The president also mentioned two other Americans held in Iran, Robert Levinson and Amir Hekmati. Super Kids Club is reaching children throughout Cambodia with the gospel. The CBN program airs on national televisions each Sunday and is now in its 12th season. Each month, CBN staff responds to 1,000 letters from children who are impacted by the show. Many pray to receive Jesus Christ personally. One young boy's letter said, quote, "God changed my life and blessed me with love and joy. Thank you, CBN, for telling me about God through the Super Kids Club program." And you can find out more about what CBN is doing around the world by logging on to cbn.com/international.